Like if focus was a person, I would say you fit into that description.
That I love watching football doesn't mean I have to sleep in the stadium.
Everybody wants to, grow a page, have likes and have viewership and all that. Do you think that's consciousness of reward is now the reason why many people focus? But because you love parties, you must go for the party first or go to the nightclub, and then in the morning you are now at the meeting. I mean, don't sabotage yourself. Hello and welcome. It is Let It Be podcast with Susan Ozono.
And I'm Lysias. Welcome on this page.
Just as I would always say, it's always a delight to be here to, reach out to you and for you to be out there also watching us.
Yes. So in case you have not subscribed, this would be a good time for you to do that. And also hit the notification bell so you'll be notified anytime we drop any new video.
Exactly. Today we're going to be looking at something, Lysias, like if focus was a person, I would say you fit into that description, and it's a word you use almost all the time. So how has that nature, or that would you call it a nature or an attribute or a character? Is it something people pick up? Before I ask the question,
I think is a nature, but also can be an attribute. You can actually pick it up in the sense that if you found out that it's actually very hard for you to stay on a particular project until you see the result. That's basically what focus is.
Okay.
Staying on until you see the result that you want to see from it.
Okay, amazing. Well, I would ask another question as we go, as you see the result. But do you think that has really helped you over time?
Yes, it has. It has made me. You see, life is supposed to be a measured increase in growth, meaning there is some landmarks, there's some projections you have made, which you can only get to when you are focused and determined to get there. So those results are what gives you the joy that your efforts are not in vain.
Your efforts are not in vain. Do you think that rewards also is a kind of trigger, as the thoughts of having a reward, maybe salary by the end of the day, or maybe gratification as it were by the end of the day? Do you think that all that has contributed in making you want to remain focused on things that you do?
Yes. You see, oftentimes people look at result in terms of like in the workplace now. Whether you want to believe it or not, you are in a working environment. You must be focused on the task that is assigned to you. Now, why do you need to be focused? Not necessarily because of, although that is part of it, that at the end of the month salary will be paid to you, but you know that there is always a consequences for your lack of focus, which is you receiving a query before the month ends, which will be filed and which will also have an effect on your overall appraisal, maybe quarterly or every 6 months. So focus cannot be underestimated. For life itself, you have to be focused on your tasks and to get the result that you want.
I'm still going to ask you that question. What is the excitement that you would get paid? I mean, by the end of the day, can that be also seen as focus? Can that be seen as some of the things that make people to focus? Because I know that people ordinarily, especially at this time, don't really want to just have, just say an attribute. There must always be, that thought of incentive. Our generation now is based on, okay, so as I'm giving this is what I'm going to get back. And looking at social media too, you see that, everybody wants to, grow a page, have likes and have viewership and all that. Do you think that's consciousness of reward is now the reason why many people focus?
Yes, in everything you do, there's a reward for it. There's a sense of gratification. Okay, let's take for instance somebody that is overweight, deciding that he or she wants to lose weight. What is going to give that person joy is after a particular specified time, the person goes to weigh him or herself again and finds that yes, I've actually dropped in weight. That is gratification, and that also can help you also focus, telling you that okay, if I could achieve this, it means if I still focus more, I can still achieve another milestone.
Okay.
So focus itself gives you gratification.
Oh, okay. Focus gives you gratification. So we can also say on the flip side, there are people that maybe over time could not get a reward, and then all of a sudden they lose focus. Is that a
Yes,
possibility?
yes, is a possibility when let's say someone writing an exam, for instance, and could not pass the exam at the first time.
Yeah.
Now the person focuses again and tries to write that exam, and because of one reason or the other, the person fails. Now, before you know, the person starts losing interest. Reason is because the person starts feeling, I may not be able to pass this exam. The person starts like rating he or herself low. That is enough reason for someone to lose focus.
Oh, okay.
But you must look at it and determination must come. What is the determination? The determination is that this is what I want to achieve for myself. That alone can make you find out the reason why you are failing, and also once you put other principles in order, you'll be able to scale it.
All right.
Yes.
If you're talking about while you were talking, something came to my mind. Talking about learning the hard way, we've seen a lot of people become very wealthy, and then all of a sudden, they go broke.
Yeah.
Do you also think that the mistakes that we make, in the process of of time, makes us to realize that we lost focus, so it may not be just clear to you that somebody just lost focus, and it may just be that you are still on that same path, but all of a sudden things just start going, wrong.
The truth is that failing in life oftentimes or sometimes may not be the result of lack of focus.
Or loss of
Yes,
focus.
or loss of focus. It could be a mistake you did, like okay, a business person now. All right, you've been taking some decisions and it has been working for you, and then in this particular instant, you took a decision and it backfired, and because of that, you went bankrupt. It is not because of the loss of focus. It's just because you made a wrong decision.
Another thing I would want to take you up on this issue of focus is the fact that we are calling it focus. Now somebody may just wonder, okay, yeah, it's your ability to just put your eyes in front and put your goals in front of you, and what do you think people should do? Which are there things that you do, somebody, because I started by saying that a focus was a person, and it's a word that you use. What do you think are those things that are obviously relevant for you to possess, as it were, for people to know that yes, you are focused? And what do you think are the results also that come from it?
For people to say you are a focused individual is because they have seen your growth over time.
Yeah.
They've seen what you have been able to achieve. You understand? Now, for every individual, for you to be focused, you must decide what you want.
Okay.
For instance, if you are in school and your desire is to make first class,
Yeah.
the next thing you need to start finding out is, what do I need to do to become a first class graduate?
Yeah.
That's the first question you have to ask. Now, a lot of thoughts will come in. You have to study hard. You must ace possibly all your courses and all that, But after getting all those parameters in place, then the work begins. In other words, you must set clear goals for yourself, and at every time you must strive to make sure that those goals are attained. The same thing also goes with people that are in one business or the other. You must ask yourself, okay, what do I want to achieve?
Yeah.
Okay, it's possible that possibly last year you were able to make this amount of sales.
Yeah.
And you decide that okay, the next year I want to hit this amount of sales. The next question you ask yourself is, what do I need to do to hit that amount of sales? So those decisions and those breakdowns are what makes you focus. You could wake up and say, okay, for me to hit this amount of sales, it means I have to open more branches. So your goal at that time will now be to open more branches and to ensure that those branches are stocked with whatever goods and services you are offering.
Okay.
So those are the parameters that you need to put in place and then focus on them to get the desired result that you want, which is what? An increase in your sales turnover.
Turnover. All right. There's another thing. Before now, we've had people say the television, radio, as well as other social media platforms are actually form of distractions. But I believe that narrative is changing. In our present world, has it in any way, added to this your goal of being focused or your nature of being focused? Do you think that there are benefits that we derive from this
There
platforms and mediums?
There are a lot of benefits to derive from them. Like there are so many informations you can access now on the internet that hitherto was not available. What do I mean? Growing up, if you have an assignment to do and you find out that they are not contained in the textbooks that you have, the next place that you have to go to is a state library.
Exactly.
Where you have all manner of books and then you can do your research and get the information you want.
Yes.
But today, all those informations are at your fingertips. As long as you have the internet and you have data on your system, you can always access them. But you see, in as much as you can use the internet also to achieve what you want to achieve in terms of getting access to information quickly, it can also be a source of distraction. Why? Because even while doing your research, a pop-up page can come up and you find something that interests you. And there's always that tendency that you're going to stop your research and go and check it. Now, you have to control yourself.
Control.
Going to check those informations out doesn't mean you can be distracted, but it is possible for it to distract you when you spend so much time there. At that point in time, it is irrelevant. It's not relevant to the subject you are trying to research on, so it becomes a distraction. So you must exercise a level of self-control where you can look at it at that time, possibly write it down somewhere in your jotter, and then continue with what you're doing and then check it out at a later time when you are less busy. And that way it's not a distraction, but it becomes a distraction when you abandon the task at hand to go and look at it, and you spend a lot of times there and then you are exhausted. You can't come back to what you were looking out for.
Exactly. Do you think that with the increase of emphasis on followers and like more than 10 million people can follow just one person, does it look like the people that are more focused, the number is smaller than those that are being distracted? I just wanted to clear that.
The fact that I'm following your page doesn't mean I'm distracted.
Exactly.
I'm following your page because you motivate me. I'm following your page because there is one or two things I learn whenever I watch you. I'm following your page because there is some information you give out that is relevant to me. It doesn't mean that I'm distracted. So
it doesn't mean that you're less focused.
It doesn't mean that I'm less focused.
Rather, it can also be seen as the person also being focused.
Yes.
Because gathering information and also the kind of company you keep has a lot of role to play on you being focused.
Yes.
It's very important. I strongly believe, and I don't know about you, but I believe in the company that you keep. I believe that you don't need to just stand up and tell your friends that, I'm not in your league again.
No.
But I know that if you follow who is at that place that you want to get to.
Miles Monroe, blessed memory, said something. He said he has different groups that he's part of. And some is he plays golf. All right, so he has group that
memory.
Yes, of people in the golf club that he interacts with. He can call and then they can go and play a game of golf. And he said there are also think tank group that he has when he has an idea and he needs other sources of information. So that alone doesn't make you distracted. What it does is that you are prioritizing.
Oh,
There is a group of people that, assuming you've worked, and you're exhausted, there should be a group that you have that you can go and chill out with.
oh, okay.
Now, those ones also, they are not distracted. They also are leaders of industries in their own capacity. So you also could also be like a way of escape for them when they need to like either refresh themselves or when they need to brainstorm. So that is what focus itself does for you. It aligns you. There are a group of people you can go and you sit down, you talk serious things, and then you get ideas from them also.
Yeah.
There are a group of people that you just want to chill. You're not, they also want to chill. They're not interested in talking about business. And you see, that's where people go on vacation.
Okay.
Yes. So it necessarily it's not about loss of focus, but it's about you deciding what you do per time.
Do you think we should watch what we love? It looks like at every point in time when you are working towards a goal and trying to achieve something, there must be something that you love that may not be needed in that next phase that you're going to. So do you think that it's important that we tame what we love also? Very important. Like I give an example of you're somebody that just love cars, and then all of a sudden the money starts coming in, and then you just can't stop buying. It becomes like an obsession. There are some people that also love to eat. I believe that we're talking about focus, we're talking about how it adds to where you're going to and all that, but I think we should talk about also paying attention to those things that may it starts off as being something that you love, but it's really an obstacle. I don't know if you can relate with this.
Well, I think when it gets to that point, it's no longer what you love, it's now what you are obsessed about. Because that I love watching football doesn't mean I have to sleep in the stadium.
Okay.
It becomes an obsession when you can't do without it. Yes, that's now an obsession. So when you're talking about the things you love are the things that you can make time for. Like you love to watch footballs, you know that there's a game that is going on, you can go and watch the game, come back and continue with the work you're doing. All right, not an obsession where you abandon every other thing and then you are literally in front of the screen morning till night. That's distracting.
That's distracting. I want to really hammer on this because there are things you must sacrifice.
Yes.
To get to where you're going to.
Of course.
You may love something now, but it is not beneficial to where you are going to at that point in time.
Yes.
So we should be able to streamline and say, oh, is this character necessary for me? Not when you're supposed to, okay, maybe you have a board meeting, but because you love parties, you must go for the party first or go to the nightclub, and then in the morning you are now at the meeting. I mean, don't sabotage yourself.
You can't sabotage yourself. All you need to do is prioritize. You tell yourself what is important. Yes, what is important. This meeting is important, and in this meeting I'm going to be asked some certain questions, which means you must do your own research. So in that case, you can't go partying all night and expect to wake up the next morning and be able to make any meaningful delivery. That won't work.
Yeah.
So you prioritize. There is time for you to play, there is time for you to work.
There's time for everything.
Yeah, so you prioritize, you give room for everything. That is the reason why this saying that jack of all trades is master of none. What that simply means is that you are into so many things and you're not proficient in any of them.
Alright.
But you could be into so many things and still be proficient in it.
I believe that thought is really changing. A lot of people have found processes and systems in order to do different things and still have the same result. And it also brings to mind the fact that a lot of people are beginning to look at or utilize their talents more at this time, talents and gifts. I think there's a lot of emphasis on it now than before.
Yes, there are a lot of emphasis now because growing up back then, it was more about you go to school, get a degree, and come and get a white collar job, work, and then retire and all that. There was no much emphasis on what else you can do.
Okay.
There is no much emphasis on your your gifts in itself, your talent, what else, like I said, what else you can do. You see, so but that narrative is changing now. You could find someone who is an engineer today working, you understand, but has a passion in playing music,
Okay.
or has a gift in playing music, and you
Yeah.
find him actually excelling in doing both of them. Those days they will tell you that you have to be focused, you have to pick up only one thing and look at it. But today I have friends that are instrumentalists, that they play 2 3 4 instruments.
Wow.
But doing then we thought that that was not possible, but today we are saying that look, it is possible, and they are very good in it.
Yeah, the reason why people have been talking about jack of all trade and master of none is because there's so much emphasis on the results you get. I mean, the end product should be the evidence of everything
Of
that
what you are doing.
you've put in. So it's important that as much as we try to handle a lot of things, but I see people doing it now. People are handling a lot of things and getting results.
Yes.
I just feel that a whole, it's a whole new world, as it were. It's a whole new world where we're trying out things and things are evolving and things are easier thanks to to social media. And there's an advice that someone gave, and it was so amazing. And that advice was that you start off with one thing, get capital, and then you delve into other things. So that was a man's that was his opinion about doing a lot of things. That when you don't have capital, then it may look as if you don't know what you're doing. So I believe that advice is still very, very valid. So I would want to also ask you, do you think that focus is the same thing as drive, or they just go hand in hand?
No, they go hand in hand. They are not the same thing.
Yeah.
Yes, you have that drive because of your projected result, and the drive is what is pushing you into getting that result. But focus in itself is you looking at your result that you want to, and then the drive helps you get to where you want to get to.
Oh,
so
amazing.
they are basically separate. They are basically two different things.
Just like driving a car gets you to where you want to get to.
Yes, like beautiful. Like the car that you said now. The car gets you to where you want to go to. But the engine is what push you. It's what gives that power for you to get to where you want to get to.
So super amazing. They both go side by side.
They both go together.
I believe that if you're an entrepreneur out there, there's one or two things that you've learned, or maybe you're just someone that is also planning to take one or two steps. I'm hoping that what we're talking about would really, really just put you at that place where you realize that we start off from somewhere, and there's always a goal. And and there are times where you may fall. There are times where it may look like you really don't even understand what's going on. But I mean, don't hesitate to also find out the information. There are so many information, so many even on social media that you could benefit from, as it were. And a lot of people are employing that. And always remember the reward, the goal by the end of the day. Yes, it's a powerful drive. You want to murder poverty. It's also a powerful drive, I tell you. You also want to give back. It's also a powerful drive. Don't ignore the fact that you need a drive to just keep going to where you're supposed to get. I mean, we never stop until we are no more.
Yes, a wise man said that you failed in succeeding the first time doesn't mean you are a failure, but that you've only learned another way of not doing it.
Amazing.
Yes.
But that's what amazes me. You see a lot of billionaires and a lot of wealthy people tell you their stories of how they failed, how they fell, how they got broke and they got back. So I think the what we are taking home today from Let It Be podcast is the fact that there's always hope. Something good and something
Will come
better
out of it,
can always happen for you if you just be persistent, be consistent, and be resilient. You just keep going.
Yes, of course.
Right.
Of course.
Yeah. So we've been talking about focus, and let us know what you've had to just stay on, regardless of what you've been through. Let us know. I mean, as I would always say, you never can tell who's reading the comment. Let's know what you've had to pick up regardless of anything that you've been through, and you saw it to a logical conclusion, or you're still on the journey and you're hopeful that you're going to get to this particular place, I tell you, we may have billionaires today, but they are still going to be people that will become billionaires.
Of
And
course.
I'm hoping that, our viewers and our subscribers will be one of those many billionaires, as
Definitely. Definitely.
in no time. So, well, this is all we have for you today on Let It Be podcast. Have you taken time to watch other of our videos? It's really something that would add to you and not take away from you at all.
Yes, please do well, subscribe, hit the notification button, and also please share with your friends and tell them what's happening on this podcast.
Exactly. Let us know your feedback. What is it that you're learning, and what is it you want us to also work on? It's important. Your opinion matters here. Yeah, it does. So I'm still Susan Ozono.
And I'm Lysias Susanna.
Yeah, and this is Let It Be podcast on Expand YouTube page. Don't miss it. God bless you.
Bye bye for now.
Bye bye.